Hi there and welcome back to Japan, where we're going to be checking out, as we occasionally do, one of our World Tour Wednesday artists who's stuck, and that is DREAMCATCHER, the Korean like K-pop group, but with a sort of rock inflection, who've been quite interesting, and a lot of their fans have been really great on our channel of giving comments and suggesting more things. So yeah, we're definitely following with them. And this is one of the new songs, Deja Vu. A few people have pointed out I've been a bit slow catching up on some of the new DreamCatcher stuff, so apologies about that. But there has been so much coming in, so many things to listen to recently. As always, we get there eventually. But yeah, I'm interested to hear this one. So this is a new video that's come out. Apparently this is one of the sort of main singles behind their latest project. But all I can really say is they tend to have an interesting rock take on girl band music, and they tend to throw in a lot more sort of subliminal threads of storylines in their videos that sometimes they can be a bit bizarre, but it's always fun to see where they're going. Anyway, here it is, Deja Vu by DreamCatcher. We'll talk about more after the video.
너의 두 눈동자여 지난 모든 기억들을 지워줘.
Nice melodic intro.
짙어진 안개 사이로 멀리 떠나온 길.
No rock yet, I'm waiting for it to drop.
기억 끝을 잡아봐도 끝내 오래 더 오래 깊은 침묵에 잠들어. Oh now holding this pain 모든 걸 버린 그날처럼 늘 더 괴로워져. 끝없이 눈앞에 오게 잡.
Here we go.
Oh, deja vu. Oh, deja vu. Oh, deja vu. So I'm falling now. 난 이 숨결이 허락되는 날까지 다시 너를 놓을 수 없어. 우리 모든 순간 함께 할 테니 내 곁에서 더 멀어지지만.
Interesting chorus. We've got a lot to come back to on that one.
So now I'm holding this pain. 모든 걸 버린.
It's a very delicate song for the best part. Very theatrical. More than just the video, the song as well. Some weird imagery in this. Like I say, it's always hard to follow what's going on with that. The fans know. Interesting change in the chord pattern there in the last chorus. And the whole tempo and everything. I don't get the imagery. I'm sure it's meaningful. I don't get it. It looks cool. That's wow, there's a lot. Ooh, fancy logo. I think that's new. There's a lot to unpack on this one for certain. And the first thing I would say is that whereas we're used to with DreamCatcher, the system is that they have, if you like, it is the songs are written like K-pop songs, well, no, let's say more broader, like pop songs, and then they just have this really good way of throwing in guitars and, if you like, more rocky elements that kind of give it more of a gritty feel. They're good at making their songs sound more gritty. This is a bit of a departure from that, in that this feels like it wasn't written as a pop song at all. Yes, I know that the first verse, when it comes in, could be seen as being quite poppy, and some of the production actually is kind of more like the opposite. It's like it starts as a rock song with a slightly poppy production, so approaching it from a different angle. However, when we get through to the chorus, it's obvious that we're going in a different direction. Because the chorus, you start off with just that da-da-da, deja vu, and that's just repeated, and then it's just a chord pattern that builds up and builds up, and it's obvious that it's more about an instrumental arrangement. This is slow chord pattern in the chorus, rather than big riffs and sort of repeated lines and hooks. Well, there is the repeated line, but rather than there being an obvious vocal hook, it's about this big build up of the music. You know, the chord starts, and I think I showed with my hands, goes up, and then just as it builds to that intensity, the last chord in the chorus is a major chord, which just if you're not so much musically minded, minor chords tend to be the chord patterns, the sort of groups of notes that, if you put them together, have a bit more of a negative, tense feel. Major chords are the ones that have that sort of feeling of resolution and positivity. So this, you get that build up, everything's a bit negative, everything's a bit minor, and then last chord goes through into positive feeling. So there's a whole feeling that the chorus is not so much about hooky lines as it is about this progression of mood. There's a real sense that the writing is more theatrical. It's got almost like it has more of a quality that you'd expect from something like a musical or a soundtrack, or, you know, sort of a bigger rock piece. The writing is kind of like what a baby metal fan would perhaps expect, you know, the very theatrical style of writing. I know that it's quite different. I know we're still talking about pop metal fusions, and like I say, the writing style does remind me of baby metal, although I do appreciate the two bands are very different sounding. I think that from a writing perspective, you might be able to see how that actually is quite true here. Now, also, the fact that the chorus is not so heavily focused. The chorus is not very long in these songs. In this song, sorry. The verse tends to be more the focus of this. And there's a lot of sense that there's a lot of depth and emotion and things going on in this that are to do with meaning that I frankly don't understand. Apologies. I didn't really catch any of that. And the imagery, as always, the imagery is so full on in their videos that unless you really know what's going on, or unless you have time to sit down and analyse afterwards, which I can't in a reaction, then it's a little bit hard to say that you actually know what's going on. So as always, in the comments, I react to the music from a sort of musically knowing standpoint, that music is subjective. So tell me what you think about the music, and also if you know more about where this is coming from, what the video is about, feel free to let me know as well. Or, as they're always in a storyline, just tell me which one comes next. I'm assuming I'm doing these in the right order for this album, unlike last time. Anyway, enough waffle, let's get back to the song. Basically, yeah, it's not one of those ones that I think is going to grab new fans. I don't think it's going to be so catchy on the radio. I think this is one that was being rewarded on repeat listen. It took me a few times with the chorus to fully get into it, to get where it was going. You know, I mean, for example, choruses usually catch you by repeating the same thing over. This one, the first four, the first repeat of the chord pattern, you know, the four chords that make up the chord pattern in the chorus, was done with the same vocal line, and then the second time with a different vocal line. This is not repeating itself to drill into your brain. It is literally building with a sort of a mood, a theatrical intent, an intent of building up a sense of some sort of grand feeling, if that makes sense. So as a result, I think this is one that is rewarding on multiple listens, and I certainly will be listening to it more myself to get a feeling for whether it becomes more catchy the more you hear it. But yes, I can imagine this is not an easy one to get people into, but very much a rewarding one if you're already a fan of the band and what they do. And I do think this is actually, I've always felt that Dreamcatcher are one of those groups who can get pop fans into rock and metal. However, this is the first time I've heard one of their songs where I actually think this is more one that could get more rockier metal fans into pop. The whole writing style seems to be more directed at that, if they're not scared off by the production and the original, where it begins with the piano and the sort of more poppy elements. I do believe this is one from a writing perspective that is more likely to appeal to fans who are not normally pop fans. Anyway, like I say, as always, this channel is always about the comments, and you guys know more about some things than I do, and you guys are going to have subjective opinions as well, and objective, subjective, you know how this all works. Let's just get in the comments, talk about it like unlike if you want to, but if you unlike, you better comment and tell us why. I read all the comments even though I don't get a chance to reply, and you can definitely subscribe if you're a lovely, wonderful person. In the link below, in the description below, is the links to all of our social medias. We got a Facebook and Twitter if you want to stay up to date. We've got a Reddit if you want to suggest songs. You can get in the comments, but if you definitely want me to see them, the Reddit is the best place to do them, because I always regularly check that for next suggestions for what to check next. And obviously the Discord is a great place to chat, and the Patreon's a place where you can support us if you really like us. Anyway, I've run through all of that. I waffled enough. Thank you so much for tuning in, and until we see you next time here in Japan, for now, ciao ciao.